2019. My entry number is H21A2831. First, I will explain part A. We had been given the research about labor force by each group in Kelantan from 1982 until 2019. We are given an appendix 1 for our data set to get a random sample. We discussed to get the random 120 sample from the appendix 1, and we put our data set into the table, and the maximum entry is 135 and the minimum entry is 13. We calculate and find our class, that is 6, and class width, which is 20. After we calculate, we construct into the appropriate table that can be used to describe the data. We find out the type of data is group data. First table is a frequency distribution, which is as a class that refers to data entries in each class, and frequency refers to the number of data entries in the class. We put the data into the classes and find the frequency of 120 sample. Second is relative frequency distribution. But at relative frequency and cumulative frequency, we calculate the relative frequency and get the total number of 0.66, while the cumulative frequency is same goes to the frequency, which is 120 sample. We calculate all the data neatly and organize. The graph is which is suitable to use for the quantitative variable data of three type, which is histogram, frequency, polygon, and organ. We choose two that suitable in our assignment, which is frequency, polygon, and organ. A frequency polygon is a line graph that emphasizes the continuous changes in frequency. The following properties must be followed. First is horizontal scale in the midpoint of the data value. Second is vertical. The vertical scale measure is the frequency of the class, and the last point that present midpoint and frequency of each class, and connect the point in order from left to right. Frequency polygon must be equal, so we need add 1 for the first class and add 1 for the next class. Next graph class is OGIF. OGIF is a cumulative frequency graph, or OGIF is a line graph that displays the cumulative frequency of each class, and its upper class include cumulative frequency of the boundaries of. For OGIF, we must construct frequency distribution that column. Second, we must plot the points that represent the upper class boundaries, and the vertical scale for the horizontal is upper class boundaries, and the vertical is cumulative frequency corresponding. Cumulative frequency. Next, we must connect the point in order from left to right. The graph should start at the lower boundary of the class, which is cumulative frequency is 0, and at the upper boundary of the class, which is cumulative frequency is equal to the sample size. From the OGIF, we can see the graph at the 12.5, where cumulative frequency is 0, and the graph ends at 20.
Hi, my name is Revathy A. I would like to present about measure of central tendency interpretation. A measure of central tendency is a value represent the center of distribution. The three most used to measure of tendency for group data are mean, median, and mode. Mean is the average of all data numbers, so the formula for the mean is x equal fx divided by n. The fx for the first class is 945.0, second class is 1317.5, third class is 1625.0, fourth class is 742.50, fifth class is 615.0, and the sixth class is 741.0. So the total of fx is 5986, and the total frequency is 120. As the formula, we divide 5986 to 120, so the answer is 49.83. At the age of at the age of 49, Kelantan labour force was spent more time on duty. Moreover, the median are the value that lies in the middle of data when the data set is ordered. This is the formula of median, where LM is equal to lower class boundary of median class, and the FM is frequencies of the median class, and FM minus 1 is cumulative frequency before median class, and C is class size. Formula is n over 2 divided by 2, so 1200 divided by 2 observations, so the answer is 60. So the median class is 53 until 72. Step 2, determine the lower class boundary, which is LM equal to 52.5. Step 3 is determine class size, which is C equal to 72.5 minus 52.5 equal to 20. Step 4, determine the FM minus 1 and FM. So the FM minus 1 is 35 and the FM equal to 26. After the complete the calculation of the median, the answer is 71.730. About 71% of median age Kelantan labour force was reported work at the period. Lastly, mode. Mode is the data entry that occur with the greatest frequency. The formula of mode is the class with the highest frequency count with class size and so on. The mode class is 13 to 32 until 32. After the calculation, the answer is 28.349. The ISH of group of Kelantan labor force is 28. That's all. Thank you. Measure of variation is way to describe the distribution of data. To calculate the variation, we square the difference between each data value and the mean. We divide the sum of the square by the number of items in the database. After the calculation, we got 54407.28. Then we square root the answer and we get 233.25. Therefore, the sample variation is about 54408.28 and the sample standard deviation is about 233.25. Measure of position. In this part, we find quartile 1 is equal to 30 and quartile 3 is 90. For the class interval for the first quartile is 13.32 and the quartile 3, the class interval for the quartile 3 is 53 until 72. After the calculation for the quartile 1, we get 26.79 and for the quartile 3 is 65.5 and the interquartile range is 38.71. Finally, the shape of the data distribution. Mean is 49 age, median is 71 age and mode is 28 age. Therefore, it's skewed to the right.
My name is Thian Siew Yi and my matric number is H21A2715. Part B, Introduction to the data and variable involved. Generally, data refer to numbering set of values which usually organized by variable. It is measure and observational unit of the sample and population. The data can be obtained from primary or secondary source. Primary data consists of the first-time data record, collected based on experimental data, not from research or existing data. While secondary data sources were obtained based on existing research, many sources already copyright the data. In simple words, data from other research. The table below is about employment percent by educational and technology 1982 until 2021. We select total employee and tertiary education as our variable, which total employee as X variable and tertiary as Y variable. After calculate, we found that total X is 376x67.1, total Y is 75025.7, Total y square is 912132041.6. Total x square is 4120892993.2. Total xy is 22401x934.
Hello and hi everyone, my name is Franklin Anak Ejam, student metric number is HFT20203. The next one is Pearson product moment correlation coefficient. The first step is sum xy minus weight sum x and sum y divided with n38. We get the answer 168,060,515.7. And second step is divided with power root sum x power 2 minus with sum x in bracket power of 2 divided with n38. We get 3737 600 and 291 and multiplied with the sum from the y power of 2 minus with sum y in bracket power of 2 divided with n38. We get 170, 553, 584 and 9. So overall we get the answer 0.9854. Our relationship is measured as the perfect negative which below than negative 1. This represents that the theory education was not producing the high professional of the graduation year. Thank you.
Salam sejahtera. My name is Kenny Lim Chee Hong and number matrix is H21A2113. Today I would like to talk about the part of estimate regression. The formula is y equal to BO plus B1x. First, we have to find and calculate the B1. The B1 is 0.44 and then the answer of BO is negative 2374.14. Then last the answer of y equal to BO plus B1x is 162x68.97. Thank you.